In a previous video, we talked a little bit about anti-diet approaches to working with pain, because for us personally and for everybody that we interact with, often the suggestion is that weight loss would aid in managing pain. And so we talked about how making sure that your basic physical needs are met is a really good first line approach to managing your pain. That means making sure you're getting enough sleep, you're eating regularly, not getting too hungry, you're taking your medication as needed, you're drinking enough water. You also want to meet your basic emotional needs, right? And these things are because when our basic physical and emotional needs like connection and fun and pleasure are met, it becomes easier to deal with the subjective experience of pain. So those could be two like first line things that you think about when your body is feeling a lot of pain. We talked about some other things that you could do: medications, injections, physical therapy, movement, finding more sources of fun and pleasure in your life, just because of the way that that changes our experience, our subjective experience of pain. But one thing I left out was meditation. And meditation is a really interesting anti-diet tool in managing pain. There's so many different benefits of meditation, but my personal experience with chronic nerve pain has shown me that meditation trains us in very specific ways to work with this and to not respond to our suffering of pain by increasing our suffering. So I'll break it down a little bit. There's two main ways in which meditation supports us to work with our pain. And the first one is that it encourages us, it trains us, it stabilizes us to stay with our present moment experience, to stay in the body. I think of it sometimes as reminding us how to feel, right? Because the technique is feeling the sensation of the breath, which is what brings the mind and the body into the same place at the same time. But as we're staying, we're able to experience the pain just as it is. And what we discover is that it's not a constant, right? It's often waxing and waning. Certain things might exacerbate it, certain things might relieve it. And by training to stay present in our bodies and to be willing to feel, allows us to appreciate those fluctuations. And sometimes that means that we experience the pain searingly, directly. But the good news inherent in that, if you can find good news, is that you're not adding to it in any way, and you're not trying to take away from it in any way. It's just what it is. And there's a benefit to that. There's a benefit to being able to work with things just as they are, not by adding anything, not by taking away anything. And then the other part of how meditation trains us to work with pain is that it supports us to recognize when we're not here. So we feel the breath, we let the mind be as it is, but we feel the breath. And then at some point, we always get lost in thought. Some thought captures our attention and takes us away from feeling the breath. Often when we're struggling with pain, that thought or those trains of thought are about how, oh, I'm afraid it's never going to go away. What if it only gets worse? I found when I was dealing with pre-surgery, the nerve pain at its worst, I found myself getting attached to the pain at its worst in a way that didn't let me appreciate those fluctuations, how sometimes like in the pool or in certain lying down positions, there was some relief. And so those thoughts got me stuck away from my actual experience and helped me come back. And what I was coming back to wasn't always pleasant, right? It was still pain. But it did help me experience the pain as it was. And by all means, take the steps that you can to relieve your pain. Take the medication, do the movements, get the surgery if need be. I mean, it's funny that there are so many judgments about things like this. Oh, you shouldn't take pain medication. You know, that's some sort of failure. Oh, you shouldn't have surgery. It's psychological. You should read a book about letting go of the emotions that cause back pain. Do the things you need to do. Don't let anybody else tell you what to do. Part of what I love about meditation and intuitive eating is this deep trust and belief in your personal intelligence and wisdom. So do the things you need to do to relieve the pain, but notice when you're getting caught up in thoughts and when you're maybe making it worse, or if you're maybe trying to get away from it in a way that actually might exacerbate the pain. Sometimes when I found myself bracing against the pain because I just couldn't stand to feel it as it was, I was actually increasing my pain. So a few more thoughts about anti-diet options, and there are a lot of them. There are a lot of anti-diet options for working with pain. And as always, I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear what you notice works for you, what thoughts, what mantras, what frameworks, what movements help you deal with pain. And also, I would love to hear your questions about working with pain or any other aspect of mindfulness or intuitive eating practices. Hope this is helpful.